game 2 and 3 here as we move deeper into the series.
Yep. Speaking of moving into things, we have moved into the Champions Select powered by Omen and HyperX, Kobe, and we are already banning the same champions. The Kai'Sa needs to come in next. I've seen it in the crystal ball.
I think I agree with you. Like, I feel like that is the way that you do see IG actually taking a game off of T1 is Gala Kai'Sa or something like that. You know, some kind of Gala big carry game. And so, yeah, don't give him that champ. That seems like a good start.
Yep, the Galio nod to go over to Faker there as well. One of my favorite champions when talking about both of these players from back in the day, as when they met, I believe it was Rift Rivals in 2018. Galio was sort of at the height of his glory post-rework, and Rookie and Faker were pretty good at the champion. 2019, another case of that, as well as the Poppy moving up and will be banned in this round this time. As IG, what is going to be the prize this time?
So interesting, whenever you ban Galio as well, that kind of ups even more like Rumble priority, because like Galio and like Ornn are kind of the tanky answers into Rumble. And I think that on this patch, Rumble and Jarvan together is a crazy good combo.
And the Jarvan is left up. That's what the Galio's in position of. And so the Orianna does come on through for Rookie, one of his most played champions this year, and also just of all time, right? If you're curious, if you're, say, someone who watches more LCK, Rookie and Faker have very similar champion pools this year. As the Jarvan, bit of a no-brainer. And Oner, if you were waiting for him to pop off, you know, the Trundle, not necessarily a pop-off champion. This is probably where it's going to happen. As
Pentakill, maybe?
Is going to be locked in already. Yeah, I think possibly, yeah.
Pentakill on the table, Jarvan. Come back again. Yeah, honestly, Oner has been insane on Jarvan. So, yeah, I was kind of expecting a Rumble with the Jarvan, but they want the Rakan. That's super high priority, too, here for Keria, you know, for the engage. So, also a very good lock-in along with the Jarvan. Now, since Jarvan is taken away, which again is such a good combo with Ori, as you're kind of talking about, the Wukong here, still strong despite the like slight nerfs on the patch here leading into Worlds. So it's a very good team fight. Lots of good AoE here set up for IG. They're going pretty standard team fight and just slam down that Sion quickly here for TheShy. He has played a lot of tanks, and he's taken up the tank duty.
And the Trundle is now out of the pool, right? So tanks feel a lot easier to pick.
And Sion doesn't get over that Raptor wall too easily, unless you like flash. So.
Yeah, true. He can turret dive pretty comfortably.
Yeah, he can ult in there
himself under it. So
but he can get back up as a zombie.
True, true. He can still be useful and make use of the passive as well. Like I really wish more players did. The Ksante going to be the answer though into TheShy, so a bit of a tank battle, some wet noodles towards the top side of the map. Doran hasn't played all that much Ksante so far this year, but has been something that he's played many times in the past, so shouldn't be feeling too worried, and this is kind of an LCK flavor of answering the big beefy boys in the top lane.
Nice comfortable answer here into the Sion. And gives you a lot of possibilities for later as we get the Lulu ban following up here. So they're seeing this very standard team fight from IG and this you know, well-rounded front line that they're facing, and taking away the possibilities of your Enchanter supports here for Meiko. Anything that's going to help Gala carry, T1 don't want that.
Well, we'll see what the final ban is going to be. Protecting Keria on this Rakan pick seems to be the way, as of course Xayah still up and available. The Braum going to be taken off the board, and I think that should trigger a Xayah ban, right? Unless Gala has a plan. And we've mentioned it already, Jinx and Caitlyn feeling a little bit better on this patch than they were in the past. And so they might just have an answer to the Lovers duo instead of having to ban that one away. But still taking their time to think about it. I don't know whether giving Xayah to Gumayusi is all that much of a good idea. This guy is a mastery player, and that's one of the champions he's really good at.
Yeah.
There it is. We'll be back.
It took a while, but you know they could be discussing
the
other things as well. But yeah, the classic there, banned out, and that safety would have been nice playing against the engage that IG are showing already. So what's it going to be instead here? AKali into the Orianna. Okay, put some pressure. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, back to this.
Victor's so boring, dude. Victor is so boring. Get back in there with the AKali. You can actually put so much more pressure. And Orianna with the like nerfs for the patch, gonna have to like max Q instead of W probably now early on. And the side lanes are going to be way more difficult for Orianna to play. And they can put a lot of pressure there with a Rakan and AKali and Jarvan. Like, this Orianna's going to have a lot of stuff to dodge.
And there's the Caitlyn to come on through. Caitlyn, Karma, my goodness. They were saving Guma's pick just to see whether something like this was going to happen, but with a Rakan already locked in, it is still going to be difficult times here towards the bottom side of the map.
Yeah. The extra 2 base AD for Caitlyn, I think, will be huge. Like, these pushing lanes, pushing from really early on. So this is going to be a lot of damage, this super high damage potential, pushing early on for IG. So
much team fighting already represented by IG with this composition, right? Like the front to back that you can see, the engage from the Wukong is probably where it's going to happen. You can also drive TheShy into the enemy team. And TheShy does like to fight, as we know. Of course, the fact that you can drive a train really far away from your team and engage could be a little bit of a problem, but we'll see whether they can keep him under control as the misfortune is going to come in here for Gumayusi. Does have a decent time in the early game, but up against Caitlyn, you're still going to get outranged.
Yeah, all right. So Misfortune, the other thing that Misfortune does bring is a really nice mid game where you transfer her into mid lane and you get mid lane priority as well. Get into an early Bloodthirster, get that pushing. So when you have an AKali and you want to have AKali side lane versus Orianna or something like that and have your side lane pressure, really does help to have a Misfortune pick like that later too. So I think it will be interesting to see the mid game here from this T1 lineup and if they can kind of capitalize on that.
Yeah, I'm intrigued because I think if I had seen this draft from T1 in the past, especially this year, I'd be like, well, this is a little bit dicey, right? Like, AKali damage, not necessarily consistent. Faker doesn't have a lot of utility to add, but this is World's Faker AKali, right? And TheShy can tell the rest of his buddies that that's something that you really do need to watch out for when you're on this stage. And we'll see whether, once again, he can make that magic happen as IG on the ropes, but they did demonstrate that they could get themselves into winning positions. They had tempo vibes the majority of the game. That's the last I'll mention it. I apologize. I'm a little bit obsessed. But this is something that IG now know that they can do. And they're going to have to knuckle down and make it happen. They have an easy-to-execute composition. I think that's a fantastic move. But now we are onto the Rift for game number 2 of this best-of-5 series. And we say all the marbles quite a lot. That's exactly what this game is for. Either you're into the Swiss stage or you are out for good. Your year ends.
And the world's labeled marbles that we have.
Yeah. And then they'll pull the labeled marbles out and there'll be teams in bits of paper, but your name won't be on them.
Exactly. Oh, okay. So we actually do get a little early invade here for a deep ward. So T1 going to have vision on Gromp Blue to start out.
Oh,
I mean, it is...
Are we going for the WE start here as well, as we are going to go into sepia mode momentarily. That's exactly what is happening here, and we'll get enough there from Doran once he gets a couple of levels in him to allow Oner to help out. But I believe the pause has finished, and we are back into the game. The problem that we had that I know all about has been solved, Kobe, so you don't need to worry.
Okay.
I don't know anything about it.
Knows. Well, there is a problem I see on our screen. And
what's that?
The lane swap is happening.
Okay.
Yep. So we do get confirmation after the pause is released. Guma is going for the swap here. So we got the 4-minute timer. This will be interesting. We'll track it. Of course, the Jarvan as well can be way more impactful pre-6 than a Wukong. And Wukong and Sion, not the scariest early combination. So we shall see. Oner actually is doing blue buff here on Jarvan and going for the invade immediately.
Oh my goodness, there is a defensive ward here though for IG, so they will spot this. But it could actually just confirm their worst fears, right? Because this means you have to be a little bit more careful towards that bottom side of the map if you know that Oner is sort of lurking around. Faker already looking a little worse for wear, but that's kind of how this matchup is going to go. Way moving off vision the T1 had placed down earlier. I mean, it's an information smorgasbord here about these junglers thus far.
So Oner gets to work with that info. He's like, okay, Wukong's on Wolves. I am fine, because even if Wukong is skipping Wolves and running here, I have my ward on my Raptor Brush. So he can be like, you know what? For sure, Wei just did Wolves, and he's just going to accept the map split that we have pressed upon IG. But
and honestly, vertical jungling, I feel, does kind of work out for T1 to try and protect.
What about the bottom lane, though?
though?
Are they going to react to the... Because they know it's split. Okay, yeah, they're fine.
Yeah, Oner is just going to walk over a ward. Does mean that IG do have to back away. Will allow Doran to get a little bit of money here, but not the end of the world, as Oner will now move back towards his blue side. But what they have done is made sure that there's no monkey business towards that bottom side of the map, so no dive to be set up.
Guma's going to chase around, check the jungle.
Yeah, getting some vision. Does know that the vertical jungle has come on through. And we'll see whether Wei does decide to try and put the pressure onto him, as in goes Keria, finds the knock-up onto Rookie. 5-point strike there from Faker. But Rookie is able to just walk it off, and he didn't even have to flash. So I was getting a little bit more excited than perhaps I needed to.
So we're still looking at another 30 seconds of lane swap, and looks like Guma will be able to avoid it. Okay, Wave is pushing towards him. He's only got 30 more seconds here to wait. And Keria is hovering without, I believe, triggering it.
Yeah, there is the knock-up, though, onto Gumayusi. As finally, the grass stack will come on through as Oner is back once again, but Wei is here to try and defend. Keria comes down at the same time. Knock-up not going to connect there as Faker has to flash to get out of the way. Keria able to get the knock-up in defense, but once again testing the waters, and no one's really budging as Faker down to 200 health once again.
Interesting here. We were talking in Champ Select about how much pressure can be put early on in Orianna, this champion that does not have a dash for herself, and Flash is being traded with Orianna and an AKali. When you're playing into Jarvan, for Orianna, it gets really dicey.
It'll be a big deal as Faker almost just killed by a QW out of Rookie here. Tries to pick up that last minion with a shuriken backflip, but now is going to go for his own reset. Same thing going to happen here as the lanes are going to equalize in mid.
So we still have the lane swap happening at the moment, but I really want to see the fight and how they keep a vision around mid lane now with having no flashes there, if we're going to get constant repeats, you know, from Keria, from Oner, because both of them do have flashes and would really want to convert while Rookie is on that timer, but currently still operating under the lane swaps and pushing in.
Doran under fire once more as Oner moving over towards Wei. I don't think got full information as to where the monkey is, but also the Jarvan was unseen as well, moving towards his top lane. TheShy could find himself in trouble, but is going to be let live just for now. As on the bottom side of the map, Doran is going to get pushed away from this turret. This is the worst news for T1, because if the Caitlyn just has free reign to knock down these structures over and over again, the snowball can really become problematic. But as you can see, the lane swaps worked, right? The it's just one wave, right, between TheShy and Doran, and CS is even between the 80 carries, and that's exactly what T1 wanted out of it.
And you're paying a tax here with the turret plates as well.
Yeah.
So on top of these waves, on top of the CS, we do have this gold lead for IG, a lot funded by the onslaught of the bottom lane and the 3 turret plates that they have been able to take there.
Yep. So now, oh, actually still moving Doran back down there. So it's not going to be any sort of swap back or anything like that. As at 6 minutes into the game, Meiko is making his way in just to make sure that they have as much free reign to push as they can.
Exactly, and that's the vision I was, hoping for them to try and keep Rookie safe here while he doesn't have flash on Orianna, because now AKali is level 6. And so if you get visits for people ganking for Faker, then it can be really dicey for the Ori. So IG are bringing over Meiko wisely, I think, get the vision, help him push the wave in. He gets to put more harass in. They can start the dragon. So nice little move here from IG. They get their mid lane priority and fully set up vision, which sees Oner walking over and Keria traversing through mid lane as well.
Yep, Oner is not going to even bother getting rid of the ward, knows that he needs to come down here to stop this. There is the snare, great knock-up comes on through the grand entrance. The wombo combo here between Oner and Keria is fantastic, but that's going to be a 2-man shockwave out of Rookie, playing the great defense as Faker finds himself isolated off to the side, and first blood goes to Wei as he will find Keria. Now Gumayusi has to deal with TheShy, who is just wandering him underneath the turret. Will not dive him this time around, but IG once again off to a great start.
Yeah, I mean, Keria uses the flash here. They go for it. T1 don't have the damage, even though they're focusing the Ori, trying to punish the no flash. They can't pull it off to get the kill onto Rookie, and so the punishment comes back from IG. In addition to the dragon they were already taking, they also claim the first kill.
And Wukong getting accelerated is a pretty scary thing as well. That Trinity Force going to be coming in a little bit faster. Of course, you want to grab the Sundered Sky, the forbidden item, which is just too incredibly powerful. Somehow that knockup actually managed to land, and this looked like a decent start. But as you say, the damage just wasn't enough. Yeah,
Meiko's got heal. You know, the Karma's right next to Rookie, so they've got Orianna shields, they've got Karma shields, and then they can get the chase down onto Keria on the way out as well.
Really nicely played here by IG, and they just had more people towards that bottom side as well. Able to make that one happen is now Faker. Able to get some harass off here, going into the Twilight Shroud, but I don't think Rookie's going to be too worried about it. He's got a couple of Ruby Crystals, keeping himself healthy. And Meiko just patrolling the river. Grubs up and available, no one really going for them just yet. We'll see whether T1 do get more than 0 objectives before 35 minutes. That wasn't quite that long, but it did feel like a long time before they got anything.
Yeah, IG starting out pretty nicely for themselves. Dragon, 1,000 gold leads. Okay.
Wave onto Faker, but Rookie not going to be able to kill him, but will convince Faker to leave the lane. And the Orianna doing some pretty great things so far in this game. Mid-control going to be there for IG. Is now T1 going to be pushed away from these grubs. Meiko and Gala just taking pot shots here at T1. Gumayusi having to flash himself out of the way. And T1 just getting strong-armed here in the river by IG.
Yeah, nice one by them. Huge value for IG, getting the flash off of Guma. The vision's still here around the grubs, though, and Oner slips into the back of the pit.
Okay, let's see whether he can find the angle, as all of the grubs are going to reset. TheShy farming behind the turret, and so is Doran. So the top laners nowhere near one another, ready to teleport in at a moment's notice as there's Make It Rain to come down. Cyclone is there as well from Wei, who's just keeping them at bay. Down goes Oner, and that is going to be the Warrior Trickster, but now Doran has found his mark. Down goes Wei as junglers will be traded. TheShy gets into the back line though as Gumayusi is his target, and down he will go. Faker still trying to find it though as Rookie will be taken out. Faker gets into the back line and assassinates all of them. Double kill already, and Doran finishes off. The last one is now TheShy. Cannot do anything, no mana, no hope, and T1 find a much earlier team fight this time.
Oh, it was looking risky for T1, but Doran, he teleported in to save the day here. The Ksante doing work. Is it enough?
We'll see. We'll see whether TheShy can keep himself alive as well, but it looks like he's not going to have to contend with too much unless Faker decides to come back down again. Flash out from this Sion as Doran picked up turret aggro, so he is going to have to get himself out of there. Stands beside Faker, and now Oner will be convinced to leave the grubs as well. So it does manage to get one of them, as you say, but it should be the feats going over, or at least the portion of them going over to Wei here. As Meiko comes up, Doran may have overstayed his welcome. Let's see whether he can take the Ksante for a walk, and with the heal, he certainly will be able to. Gala finds it, and there is the shot onto Doran. So evening things up for IG, as the scoreline's now 4-4, and they get the grubs.
And double buffs transferred over the Caitlyn now. So, all right, after all of this, Faker got a couple of kills out of that for the AKali, so going to be a lot of extra stacks on his Dark Seal too. 6 stacks Dark Seal for Faker, in addition to this gold that he got on this AKali. So the AKali burst damage, the assassination potential here from this T1 comp. Saw it last time around with Doran joining and T1 being able to put pressure onto the back line. Faker had connected his E onto Rookie and been able to go back in and finish him off in that last skirmish, which was quite big.
Yep. And the fact that it's 100% kill contribution here for Faker as well just means that he's maximized the amount of value that he can get out of the Biffo that's been coming on through. But as we can see, IG do have a slight gold advantage, as look at these waves. They are just one by one marching themselves to their doom without any response from T1 in this top lane. More plates going over to Gala, who's starting to look like a homewares shop with the amount that he's taken from this top side, as there's the all-out onto Meiko, who's just dead. Okay. Doran says, whatever you can do, I can do better.
Doran's revenge. All right, lane swaps are back, and top laners were feeling pain in the beginning, but like,
yeah, Doran's very frustrated.
Ksante still has an effect.
Okay, well, Meiko not exactly having the greatest of times, but TheShy also not really taking damage anymore as well. So we're going to check out this replay one more time.
Okay. So we know at the very beginning here, Oner went down, does trap away here. In the end, the teleport coming in for Ksante, Doran's in a really good spot, so he opens up, him and Keria are able to open up a pathway there for Faker to go over the top. And then just look at him move on forward, gets the burst damage there. The E from Faker had connected onto Rookie so he could follow it in for the extra chase. And Keria and Doran able to just keep it going here.
And it was so much early game Ksante value.
Yeah.
Often we don't really see the Ksantes come online this heavily. And when they do, they can really get things going. 3-1 and 2 now for Doran, and we were mentioning it before, but this guy hasn't had a year like this ever, as there is the quickness, the grand entrance, as well as now Faker with the damage. Meiko going to get popped like a balloon, but Gala is going to keep himself alive still. Faker getting more kills. IG fans, beware.
Yeah, he's got the damage now with his Dark Seal stacking up with the extra money. And Keria's Rakan, once again, you know, in the last fight, we just saw him right there with Doran, getting the engages. Here, comes through with Faker, able to get Faker more money as well in the side lane. And the side lanes are going to be the dangerous part for IG. They really want to fight as a grouped up team. Much more front to back setup for them. And so when they do have carries and stuff, especially that don't have flashes, you have to be a little bit careful.
You certainly do. Shuriken backflip going to come on through as the ace in the hole is going to be there. That's going to guarantee the outer turret here for IG. They will be able to secure that one. Feats of strength going their way as well. But at least a Drake is going to go into T1's hands for the first time in this series. And now Keria is looking for a little bit of a mark here as in comes Gumayusi looking for the angle. The flash out is going to come on through, and now they're turning it on to Keria. Cyclone is fantastic, but he just dashes away. And Keria is going to survive. TheShy really wanting to take him out. He's not out of the woods just yet, but IG not interested in following up, and now TheShy might be the one turned on as Oner is going to turn up. Gets himself the flag, and Keria will be successfully escorted to safety. And I say safety, he's out. The rest of T1 looking for potentially something.
And IG are blocking them from mid lane right now, so they're taking mid lane tower.
Okay, Doran looking for an angle. I don't really know what it was, but my God, TheShy is able to eliminate him for it. A little bit of gusto, and I don't think that plan necessarily worked from the T1 top laner. As finally, bullet time going to just eradicate this minion wave. And Gala, he's just doing exactly what Caitlyn's want to do, and that is only hit turrets for the entirety of the game.
Yeah, pushing down there. They got a lot of damage on it. Side lane now, though, Faker.
Well, Shuriken backflip not going to connect there onto Rookie. Meiko Gaming to come on through, and Faker is just going to back his way out. Picture in picture. You've got TheShy being very aggressive on this Sion. That is on brand, but this champion will certainly take a whole lot more to kill than the Rek'Sai of game one.
Yeah, and that whole big last run of play here from IG, able to just take the inside route, take control of the jungle, and make it harder for T1 to rotate between objectives. Faker did just stay topside and was able to push that wave in, but T1 on the resets will come over towards the Rift Trail. Looks like they should be able to get this one.
Yeah. Should go over to them. We'll see whether they can use it to get themselves an outer turret in mid lane. It's certainly open up the map here for T1, and an open map means a whole lot when you've got an assassin like AKali and you've got Faker piloting it, who's 3-0 and 2. You'd be feeling pretty good about that one. And we'll see whether they can actually create that space to allow this one to happen, because it is a finesse composition out of T1. It can look like it's lacking damage if Faker is not able to hit all of the priority targets with his abilities, and Gumayusi's ult isn't able to find the mark, right? There are some things that we've had issues with when it comes to what they can do, but of course this is T1. They've made the magic happen before with other comps. It's now Meiko off to the side, Way looking for an angle as Rookie clears out that turret. Cyclone comes in, Way looking for the knockups, and there it is, the shockwave onto 3 from Rookie as Doran just trying to get himself all the way out of there, and it might actually happen as never mind, the orb is going to catch him, and down he will go once again. Faker looking for the angle, but the Peacemaker comes on through, and Faker says maybe Peace is okay for now.
TheShy is also rotating over here, passing through mid-wave. IG can be able to push both waves bottom side as well. I mean, Oner and Faker are trying to get jungle scraps for themselves together, but...
And now, Faker level down here against TheShy, but TheShy doesn't quite have the damage to stop him from being able to do what he wants. And Cannon Minion will go over to Faker there as Oner. Question mark? He is looking to try and walk his way out of here, but he is going to get slowed down, flag and drag, as he looks to go for the back, because he knows he is well and truly dead. And he will be taken out. Some aggressive positioning, you could say, as Faker dashing towards TheShy, but it looks like this Sion is really reaching that mortality stage.
I mean, the IG comp is so much easier to play, so much better in standard, you know, front to back and pushing them out, and IG able to get the advantage here, chase them back through the jungle. They just force the play again. Wukong and Orianna so good together. Wei's able to start it out. They get their shockwave. They get their chase down kill. And IG will be strong as a group. TheShy as well on Sion here is just going to be a massive block.
Yeah.
So that
he might even be able to last long enough for his team to catch up as well. That's the thing that's very scary here for T1, because if he's going to stay as aggressive, he can work as that engage, because this is a karma composition, right? You have just inherently less abilities to start fights without having that engage support towards that bottom side of the map. So TheShy going to be encouraged to try and make these plays happen and be that front in the front to back like you were talking about. As IG settling back into a little bit of a farming position until we get to the 20-second mark, as this Drake is going to be spawning. Mountain Soul this game as well is certainly terrifying. I don't think T1 ever want IG to get any of those, because TheShy will be unkillable. Yeah,
they definitely don't want to like increase the threshold to kill, because T1, they have to, like, their comp's harder to play. They got to get you know, some more bursty looking kills, some good flank angles possibly from them to get some assassinations off. But here we go, good wards starting out for IG. They ward all of the river here. Control wards are down. They start up the dragon.
Yep, Doran was tethered momentarily, as now T1 get themselves into the river. They do not want to let this one go. As we can see, Make It Rain slows down Rookie. Faker on a flank angle, but he's spotted. Doran finds two with the Q, though, as now Oner looks for the knockup but misses, and Rookie is able to take him down. He gets into the Rift Herald. Oh, Oner, we've seen this play before, and he's going to run his way up. But Keria is going to get taken down. Faker gets into the mix, though, and already out of the fight is Meiko. The ulti comes on forward, but Faker doesn't find the backflip, and Bullet Time gets no joy as well. Doran now out of the fight via the Death Chamber, as Gala gets the ace in the hole. And yes, you know, that was some cute play there from Oner, but him doing the Krugs is not going to help them.
No, it's not. IG are too tanky. They are too strong. They're going to get even tankier now, Atlus. Mountain Dragon will be their reward.
And Mountain Soul going to be prepped for them as well. Soul Point will be the next one on the docket. Let's check out this fight one more time.
So they pop the Herald early for later combat use. And then Doran just tries to start it out. Backside, Oner's not able to get his EQ onto Rookie either. And Oner just gets put in so much pressure here that, yeah, he does live, and he gets inside the Herald and gets some knockups here. But T1, look at this. Guma's all the way over by the other side, so didn't have any damage to support Faker and Faker's attempt to go kill pressure onto Gala. And then T1 just unable to get any sort of follow-up there. And IG, really nice stuff from them. They stand solid, protect themselves as that group.
And you saw Danny there, the left of your screen in the coach's booth, of course, was working with T1 when they were trying to figure out their roster back in 2021, and then was against them 2023 World Finals as well. Now, another chance for some revenge. See whether he's going to be able to find it right now in this game. Looking pretty good as they're up 3.5k gold to try and even out this series. Rakan up once again, though, and T1 were down in the last one. See whether they can turn this one around. I do think it's a different story, though, Kobe. I feel like this is going to be a more difficult composition to pilot back into a winning spot when something goes very wrong.
I definitely agree. Oh.
Okay, Oner going aggressive onto the enemy jungler, as in the meantime, Rookie trying to deal with Faker, now looking to turn it as Wei comes back, and that's just a solo. The GOAT is going to be able to find it as Doran goes all out against Wei. He's now in trouble, and oh my goodness, was that a cast of curse or a cast of blessing? I'm not entirely sure, but the Rakan is going to spell the demise of IG potentially yet again. As Rookie down for another 27 seconds. They're not out of it yet. Gala is still terrifying, and he will be able to stop Faker from going back home. There is Keria getting into the backline. The bullet time! And the shutdown for Gumayusi. Doran's health bar is very low, and the Otacon is being frustrating, but IG are just running out of players.
They certainly are. They're also going to run out of Otacon here. T1's going to be able to get it. I mean, TheShy is dancing around, but not a lot that he can do about it. I guess they have to wait a little while.
Yeah, I don't know whether there is anything that IG can really do about it, though, as we do get a knock-up on IG. They take down the Otacon. The comfortable smite here by Oner, and once again, that is going to be T1 turning around the game at the Otacon.
Hey, Atlus, this T1 comp gets way easier to play when the enemy carries don't have their flashes. So, you know, no flash on Orianna, and if Rookie has no one around to protect him while he has no flash, the side lanes are the area to prey on IG and trying to attack them before they are grouped up in their solid, you know, karma peeling for you and everything. So this is the exact opportunity that you need to take as T1. And Faker, he sees the angle onto Rookie. He goes for the engage with the Proto Belt. He hits his E. That's all he needs. Clean finish on the burst damage. And taking him out before the rest of IG can kind of assemble their composition properly. And then T1, this one was nice. Keria drops his control ward, so he sees the other control ward in the front bush. Faker's going for his recall here, and Keria now slips around just in the fog of war. Great toggle of vision by the observers. Keria slips around into the fog of war, and yeah, they interrupt Faker's recall, but Keria from the brush gets the engage, and shutdown goes over to Guma. So they get that shutdown, they get that Otacon.
And do you give him credit for it? Was that a bait?
Hell yeah, you always give credit.
Yeah, all right, Faker did it.
There you go, credit.
Just baited them in. Gala walked up, took the bait, and they took him down.
Keria,
it's hard to know for sure, but we might be able to get a glimpse into the comms.
You can also tell that Keria was thinking about it really early on. You know, he puts the control ward there, and the control ward, he's like, you know what? Okay, I see their control ward, so now I'll just slip around here, and Keria is able to find the angle. Is that going to be enough, though, Atlus? You know, the IG comp is still really good if they can play like a safe, more standard, like regular team fight on their terms. But T1, like, they have so much burst damage here, and Faker just continues to get more and more money. The Akali getting this side lane tower. The Dark Seal is fully stacked, so plenty of burst damage.
The Shadow Flame now done as well, so he's going to be able to make short work of Gala if he ever does manage to connect some of these shuriken backflips. We saw what happened to Rookie as well. And so the carries need to beware. And IG, I honestly still think that they're in a great position in this game. Drake advantage is going to be theirs. The Mountain Soul, as we said, coming up in 25 seconds. That'd be soul point for them also, but it's gaining more stats for this Sion to become even more unkillable. And T1 just need to navigate around TheShy and kill everyone else before they go for it, as Wei halves the health bar of Keria with one combo.
That's gonna sting. Okay, Wei here with the 2 items. Definitely painful.
Doran. He's gonna look for the flank angle. There's a flash cataclysm to come on through. Finally, the knockup does come in now for Oner, who goes down to half health. Keria trying to get himself out of there, and he will! Gumayusi gets a decent amount of damage, but leaves himself exposed and just blows up Wei, who gets on top of him, but that's not where he wants to be. Great knockup there onto TheShy as Doran gets on in there. He's looking for Gala as the shockwave does not do enough, but he does take down Keria. Fake is doing work though, and Meiko is running for the hills. Doran cuts apart this Sion, and T1, it's a difficult comp to make work, but the world champ's looking pretty good with it.
The 3-tiered engage from T1. They will take them down. They will cut IG to pieces.
And it's only Rookie left standing here, and now he's looking to use that dissonance movement speed to run the heck out of there. T1 want to get themselves this outer turret, but their minion wave is going to wear off, so they're going to have to take a Consolation Dragon. And Rookie is still scary, but after a fight like that, T1 going to be feeling a whole lot better.
Yeah, the multiple layers of engage here. So they want to blow the summoner spells off Gala early. So teleport in from Doran. He arrives, and Oner says, okay, I'll go in first. He goes after Gala, then Keria. And Keria, as you said, like, he barely escaped with his life there. But they got their summoner spells out of Gala. Gala's kind of pretty far on the back, and so Doran can walk away, but Wei cannot on the Wukong. So Guma's able to take him down the front line. And then the next tier of engage from Doran and Oner right back in onto Gala, and they complete the assassination.
Yeah, a very optimistic shockwave that catches Keria mid-battle dance, but he was already out of the fight, right? He had done his contribution. Yeah. And so the fact that that one comes in doesn't really mean too much for how this one goes. And yeah, some frustration here on IG's side, as you can see. It's only a 500 gold lead. The problem is this game is feeling like it's slipping out of the hands of IG. Every time these fights are gone for, we've mentioned it already, that's exactly how this composition wants to work. It's just not quite happening. And it's 3 items now on Gala. You know, that trough is not quite there anymore, and feeling a little bit better. But T1 certainly did capitalize on that time where he wasn't necessarily as strong.
Yeah, Guma, meanwhile, feeling pretty good about his Lord Doms. Doran is going deep.
Yeah, he's got 3 items now completed. The rest of T1 comes on over. That is going to be a solo shockwave onto the Ksante as TheShy crashes into them. That is phenomenal damage as they take down Gumayusi. TheShy deals with Doran as well, and T1, now it's their turn to run the heck out of there. It's Meiko. He goes in, he finds Gala in the back line, and then just gets shot in the head. T1 are going to fall. That's an ace for IG, who turn it all on its head.
That's going to be Baron for IG as well. T1, they just lose it all up by the top tower. IG, they're going to push top as well as gain Baron here. Rookie's going to be able to get that tower.
My God. Okay, let's have a look at what just happened here, as it looked like they just wanted to finish off the turret.
So Rookie dodges the Q3 from Doran, and then he's also going to dodge the engage from Keria. Even though T1 are able to get the tower down, when Keria goes in, he also uses this Karma speed up. He's able to dodge. Meanwhile, IG with the engage onto Guma just blow Guma up, and T1 are without anything left.
And Faker just realizes they're probably not getting out of there. Wants to go for some heroics, and it just does not do anything. And we mentioned it already, like, this is a finesse composition out of T1. You have to get your ducks in a row. The setup has to be perfect. You cannot be going haphazard like that. The rush of blood to the head will cost them a massive amount of gold already on that Red Bull Baron power play, sitting at 2,000. And that's for another 2.5 minutes that they can utilize that buff. And it's a Caitlyn. Sieging is what she loves. That's what she wants to do all game.
Oh, yes, it is. Now IG, they can group up. They can get their 4-1 split push going. They have Orianna shields. They have Karma shields. So they can kind of comfortably move up, take the vision through the jungle first, try and ward out any of these flank angles to make sure that you don't let T1 get an ideal assassination angle off.
Oh, teleport flank angle here from Faker, who gets behind IG. Let's see whether they can actually get forward. Keria's health bar already very low as Oner taking so much damage. Puts Rookie into the Cataclysm. Is now Faker dashing forward, but they've lost Keria already. The bullet time not quite doing that much, but the all-out comes on through. Rookie in trouble. Faker gets Gala. The Shuriken backflip doesn't land, but it doesn't seem to matter. Is down. Oh, no, never mind. Faker is going to be taken out. Wei still looking for it. Doran hunting for TheShy. And Wei will survive, but Doran is looking absolutely terrifying. Gumayusi's putting the bullets into TheShy, but they are bouncing off the armor. This Sion is
he's
really hitting towards that immortal stage, as the teleport is going to be employed here by Doran. Unfortunately for Gumayusi, all he can do is really hit minions and run. And Rookie is going to stop that from being a possibility, as he is strutting. So yeah, Misfortune does run pretty fast. Let's see whether Gumayusi can make the great escape here, as
Boots of Swiftness
going to be able to walk between these turrets. Make it rain slows down Rookie, and I think he's out. I think he's fine. I think Gumayusi's just going to walk it off. Never mind, there's a train coming. There's a train coming. And he just walks between the walls. The flash comes on through from TheShy. Can he actually connect to Q, though? That's the question. The answer is yes. Dissonance comes down, and finally the axe hammers in to Gumayusi, and he will die. But that took what felt like a year. And so maybe T1 are going to be able to reset.
IG just circumnavigated all of Summoner's Rift.
Chasing, really did.
Chasing
I would say that is not appropriate utilization of a Baron.
All right, well, let's take a look at the skirmish through the river now, because Wei's got his Guardian Angel. Feels very confident here. Faker.
Yeah, Ace in the hole comes down. There's the Cyclone to chain the CC. Grand Entrance comes through just to buy some space. Keria able to save Faker for now. Does throw down the Cyclone. Redemption is really good, though. That will keep Faker alive, and Oner now moving in. Rookie clearing out vision, but T1 now with information. But this is going to be Soul Point. The last one, T1 were able to actually take, and so This is not going to be the Mountain Soul, but every time these Mountain Drakes are stacked up, IG gets more and more difficult to take down.
A roller coaster, Atlas. So this all started because there was one ward that IG missed. So Faker was able to teleport back for the flank that we were talking about. And so they can get into the back line here with a decent amount of damage. But a critical point comes after Faker's able to get the kill onto Gala as well as onto the Karma. And Wei just finishes him off barely here with the Wukong.
And it was the backflip. If that shuriken backflip lands onto Gala there, that's an ace. That's a wipe. But not this time around, as you can see some frustrations here on T1. Roma often with a big smile on his face, this time around looking very serious. And the question was asked on the desk, right? Like, is T1 nervous? How are they feeling coming into this game? I don't think it's nerves necessarily, but I can see that they are certainly in this game with a lot of respect for IG and what they're capable of. And so far, it has worked and it hasn't.
Honestly, I think that IG from here, they for sure should win though, right?
Oh yeah.
They have 2 Guardian Angels and they have the Zonias on Rookie as well. So like, they are so safe.
They have
Orianna
to
shields, Karma
times,
shields.
I think. Like, wait, 8 because TheShy goes into zombie mode.
Yeah, TheShy is crazy tanky. He can go into zombie mode. Like, IG are so loaded right now with all of this advantage. So T1 would have to pull out some miracles here.
Well, Miracle is potentially going to be a flank as Keria just taking so much damage here from Gala. Baker walks over a ward though as IG looking to catch these flanks. It's exactly what they have to do. T1's win condition is flank angles. That's what they have to find. But TheShy is going to look for the Akali. And Faker going to have to use his dash cannon defensively to get himself out. It will work. But you can see it's a 7,000 gold lead here for Invictus Gaming. And the Baron is going to be up again in 35 seconds. And already it feels like anywhere they walk, they have control of it.
Yeah. Power in numbers here for IG as well, as they can, as long as they walk in groups, feels very confident. And they can buy a lot of time too, even if someone gets caught, you know, those things we mentioned, the Guardian Angels, the Zonias as well. So they can also, a lot of the members can buy a lot of time if T1 have been able to get into a sneaky brush or use some sort of fog of war play to their advantage. But we're looking at that clock tick down, Atlas. Only 2.5 minutes till the Mountain Soul arrives to Summoner's Rift. Baron is here and does throw a little bit of extra risk into things, but I think that IG should just remain controlled in order to progress this game and try and finish it out.
Well, that teleport ward could be a big one for Doran, but right now Keria in trouble. Way going to get him out of there. Battle Dance will save Keria's life for now. Information gathered here by IG. Rookie moving towards his top side. If this can actually be a pick, you can see Faker is lurking. Yeah, well, we can't see it, but we know that he is there.
We can feel it, though.
We can. Rookie can feel it, too, though. He's going to just move himself out of the way. Teleport comes in from Keria to get back towards this Baron pit, and already he has to use all of his buttons to get himself out. Shockwave, he's going to catch Oner. He flashes, the Cyclone collects him, and it's Rookie that grabs the kill. That's Jungler down. That should be Baron number 2 for IG.
All right, let's see. They should be able to get it. There's no smite to steal, so it would actually have to be a miracle from T1.
Well, we'll see whether they can actually make a team fight.
And Guma's not on Varus.
Yeah, and TheShy has about 25 health bars. He can sacrifice some of them, and that is going to be the Baron smoked down. And T1 having to get out of there. The bullet time was a decent attempt, but it is not Guma's Varus, like you say. Unable to do enough to lock down that Baron. And now, it's only a minute away from that Mountain Soul. And we were talking about Souls as being a really good thing. Last game didn't necessarily work out for IG. This game, I think it's going to be a different story because I think, like, TheShy can go underneath the turret and, like, spam emotes for a minute and a half and still not die.
Yeah. 100% agree here. IG with so many advantages. Medjai is even upgraded here for Rookie. He's got the book. Feeling very confident in the side lane. They've got teleport on TheShy, 4-1 split push. Multiple people shadowing here to make sure they can just use the Baron, create all of this lead up space into the soul fight. Litter this jungle full of wards, make sure that T1 have such a difficult time to approach that it becomes almost impossible.
Yeah, Gala does a fair bit of damage, as we can see there. 4 items now completed, getting very, very close to just filling out that build. As T1, their base under fire. Only a few shots going to be necessary here by this Caitlyn. As two exposed inhibitors. There's a shockwave to come on through. It's a decent answer here, as we can see. As down will go Oner into that GA. Trying to answer this one, but you can see Gala is distracted by these structures that he can destroy. Finally, he's going to look for Doran, who just dives away and goes all out. He survives for a long time as Meiko looks for the flank, but TheShy is there and says, nope, you are not coming in. And IG this time ain't throwing it away. They are going to even out the series in this best of 5 with a triple kill from Rookie. T1 gonna have to go back to the drawing board.
Play-in's looking pretty spicy this year, Atlus.
I'm looking forward to the next best of 5 between these two teams that we're going to have afterwards, right, Kobe? We're going to have one of those, right? Can we convince everyone?
Elimination on the line, 1-1. IG versus T1 here gets evened up.
Oh man, what an incredible series this is turning out to be. But now, to break down the beginnings of what has become a best of 3 is our gorgeous analyst desk.
Feature. It's amazing.